Welcome to Timeless Truths, where we take the stories of the Bible and explore what they mean for our lives today. Whether this is your first time here or you've been with me from the beginning, I'm thankful you've taken the time to reflect, learn, and grow with me. Today we're moving into Genesis chapters 10 and 11, the spread of nations. At first glance, this part might seem like a list of names and places, but what's tucked into these two chapters is incredibly significant. We see how humanity expanded across the earth, and how pride nearly pulled us apart again at the Tower of Babel. This section reminds us of something we all feel at some point, the tension between unity and ambition, connection and control. But as always, there's truth here that's still shaping us today. Let's dive in. Genesis 10 is often referred to as the Table of Nations. It's a detailed genealogy that outlines how the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, spread out and populated the earth after the flood. You might be tempted to skip over this chapter, thinking it's just a list of ancient names. But look closer. This is the Bible's way of showing us how diverse and far-reaching humanity becomes. It's not random. It's intentional. Every nation and people group has roots, and those roots go back to this moment of new beginning. It also shows us something critical. God's command to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth is being carried out. The flood reset humanity, and now people are branching out, forming cultures, languages, and communities. Then in Genesis 11, we see something else. Instead of continuing to spread as God intended, people gather in one place, Babel, and make a bold plan. Let's build a tower that reaches the heavens. Let's make a name for ourselves so we're not scattered. Their motivation isn't worship. It's pride. It's self-sufficiency. They're building not to honor God, but to replace Him. God sees what's happening, and He steps in. He confuses their language so they can no longer communicate. And as a result, the people scatter just as He originally intended. What can we take away from these chapters? God values diversity and the spreading of His image across the world. When people unite in pride rather than purpose, they drift from God. True unity is built on dependence on God, not the pursuit of our own name. Even in confusion, God's plan moves forward. These aren't just ancient stories. They're spiritual truths about what happens when people either submit to God's direction or fight to build life on their own terms. Let's talk about how this still plays out today. Have you ever found yourself trying to build a tower? Maybe not with bricks and mortar, but with your resume, your reputation, your social media image, your financial security. We're all tempted to create something that says, "Look what I've done. Look how high I climbed." But when our focus shifts from honoring God to honoring ourselves, we become just like the people of Babel, using our energy to build monuments to ourselves instead of stepping into the mission God has for us. The truth is, there's nothing wrong with ambition, but when our ambition tries to replace God instead of reflect Him, it leads to division, confusion, and collapse. Think also about how God responded at Babel. He could have destroyed the tower. He could have wiped them out, but instead, He scattered them through confusion. It wasn't punishment, it was protection. It forced people to rely on Him again, to refocus on His command to fill the earth, and to spread out with purpose. Maybe you had moments in life where your plans got disrupted, where things didn't work out and it felt like confusion. What if that was God's way of redirecting you? Not to frustrate you, but to protect you from building something that wouldn't last. And finally, Genesis 10 reminds us that everyone has a story. Every person comes from somewhere. We are all part of the human story. And when we forget that, we risk building walls instead of bridges. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been in a season where you were building something for your own name, only to have it fall apart? Or maybe you're in a time where your plans feel scattered and you're searching for a purpose in confusion. What part of the story speaks to you most? Do you relate more to spreading out in Genesis 10 or the self-focused ambition of Babel? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. Thank you for joining me in this reflection. If this message helped you see Scripture in a new light, gave you something to think about, or brought peace to your situation, Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone else. Timeless Truths is all about walking through Scripture slowly, thoughtfully, and with an open heart. We don't rush. We listen, and we let the stories shape us. Remember, God's plans may take us places we didn't expect, but they are never without purpose. Even in moments of confusion, His hand is steady, and the story isn't over. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter.